Hi there. I see we have a few more people. I think we are going to get started. We don't want to keep you too long. And I'm going to open with a word of prayer. Dear Lord, just thank you so much for all that you're doing in and through Night to Shine, Lord. Father, thank you that you're using each and every person on this webinar today for your purposes, Father. Lord, I remember just yesterday talking to my grandson about some scripture that had talked about basically what you water grows, and so Lord, I just pray that you allow us to just water just the entire Night to Shine experience with love, kindness, acceptance, and just to show people who you are, Lord. And Father, we just pray that you're preparing hearts already to just want to know you through this event, Lord. Volunteers, family members, honored guests, Lord. And Father, we just thank you and we pray that you allow us to use our resources the right way, Lord, our smiles the right way, Lord, our compassion and just anything around this event, Lord. This is so special, Lord. So thank you for the honor and the blessing to be able to do this each and every year. And Father, we just give this time to you in Jesus' name. Amen. Well, hello, everyone. I see we have so many people on this webinar, and I'm so excited. Today, we're just going to take a little bit of time, and we're going to do our training for Night to Shine. This is an event that we have been doing at Fresh Start Church for, I think it's 5 years now. And I am Lisa Price, the Director of Special Needs Ministries and Outreach at Fresh Start. And it's just a blessing to be able to work with each and every one of you every year. So thank you for that. So I wanted to let you know that we are going to go through a little bit of a slideshow. And in that time, you may have some questions and you can put them in the chat. And for those who who have just jumped in, if for some reason you feel as if your question was not answered, you can just go ahead and email me at lisa@freshstart.church. I don't know that we'll get back to you today, but we will get back to you. So thank you. So I believe that you can see my screen right now. So what I'm going to do is start our slideshow and we'll start our training. And here we go. Let me go back a little bit. Hmm. We have a little video in here.
What's up, guys? I'm Tim Tebow, and I just want to say thank you so much. I appreciate you and your ministry more than you could possibly know. I am so grateful that you have chosen to partner with us, but more than partner with us, to love on people and to value people. You know, when we started Night to Shine a few years ago, we started in 44 locations, 26 states, and 3 countries. And we thought, man, God is so big. He's opening up so many doors. This is so cool. But then to be able to see how God opened more and more doors. And this year, we're going to have over 700 locations in over 30 countries and have over 215,000 volunteers. And all those numbers, they're exciting because we want to reach every single person with love and the good news of the gospel. And we want every single kid with special needs to understand their value and their worth. We don't do it just for the numbers, we do it for the one. And why I want to make this video and say thank you to you is because you are going to affect the one that God has for you, the one that is going to be your buddy, the one that you're going to cheer for on the red carpet, the one that you're going to crown as the king or the queen of the prom, the one that you're going to hug, the one that you're going to dance for. God is going to use you to change the one. And that one is waiting for you. That one needs you. God has designed you to meet that one that you're going to change their life. But probably God's going to use them to help change your life too. You know, at the Tim Tebow Foundation, we have some non-negotiables. And one of those non-negotiables is that everyone matters, no matter where they're from, no matter their background, no matter what they've done, they matter. Everyone matters. And why Night to Shine is so special is because we want to celebrate people and specifically celebrate people with special needs. And why they have a red carpet and why they get crowned as the king or the queen of the prom, because it signifies significance and worth, meaning, and value. But why do we value everyone? Because God puts a value on everyone. You see, he gave his best for everyone. That includes every single person with special needs. And so I am so excited to see you celebrate every single person with special needs on the red carpet, on the dance floor, crowning them king or queen of the prom. Because do you know what happens when a life realizes that it's valuable, that it is created in the image of God, that it is loved unconditionally? And it's good and it's bad, that it is loved, that he is loved, that she is loved. Everything changes. Everything changes. And guys, we get to bring that love, God's love, to the world. And you are a conduit of that. You get to bring God's love. And I'm so grateful that you're doing that through Night to Shine, that you're saying, yes, I'm willing to give up my time, my energy, my resources, and I'm ready to affect the one. But I believe God has someone for you because you're going to affect their life and they're going to affect yours. And I'm grateful that you said yes. And together, I really believe we're going to change a lot of lives. So thank you for saying yes, guys. God bless you.
So welcome everybody, and I'm just so thankful that Tim Tebow could give us that message, and we sure are glad that you are here with us today. We have this slideshow that we're going to share with you all about Night to Shine and what it means to be a volunteer for Night to Shine. So the Tim Tebow Foundation's vision is to work with churches around the world to provide an unforgettable prom night experience centered on God's love for people with special needs, ages 14 and older. And Night to Shine is completely centered on God's love, and it's held the Friday before Valentine's Day every year, and it's become a worldwide movement. And it's actually changing Valentine's Day from simply a celebration of love to a celebration of God's love for people with special needs and the value of life. And every guest of Night to Shine enters this complimentary event on a red carpet, complete with a warm welcome from a friendly crowd and paparazzi. Once inside, guests receive the absolute royal treatment, including hair and makeup touch-ups, shoe shining stations, limo rides, corsages, boutonnieres, a karaoke room, a full catered dinner. And then we do have a respite area for caregivers that we're going to be excited to tell you about towards the end of this. And there's just going to be dancing, dancing, dancing all night long. We will highlight the kings and queens as the night continues on. Tim Tebow, there's actually, I know in the video he shared some stats, but those numbers actually have gone up. There's actually 700 host churches, and Night to Shine is in 50 states and 56 countries. 35 denominations celebrate Night to Shine. There have been 950,000 volunteers, and you guys are part of that number. 550,000 honored guests and an incredible night. So through God's blessings, we pray even more honored guests will be celebrated in 2024. Fresh Start Church actually got involved with Night to Shine because of our Champions Club ministry. Pastor Tim just really had a heart for people with special needs, and we connected with another church that had a Champions Club, and they showed us how to do it. And from there, we got connected to the Tim Tebow Foundation, and we decided that we're absolutely going to do Night to Shine. And I just wanted to let you know that God is truly working in our community in so many ways, that we definitely have strong connections in our community, in the special needs communities and their families. So, I definitely just want to share with you all of our volunteer information that you're going to need for the night of Night to Shine. And again, if for some reason you are having difficulty getting any answers to any questions, you can simply just email me at lisa@freshstart.church, and we will get back to you. We may not get back to you today, but we will definitely get back to you. So here's a few things. In terms of volunteer responsibilities, we absolutely need to share with you the buddy responsibilities because we want everyone, all of our volunteers, to know exactly what to expect. We're all keeping a lookout for each other that night. We're all one huge team. So whether you're going to be in the parking lot, in the parent party, serving part of the meal, we want you to know what the responsibilities are of all of our volunteers. So thank you for your patience as we go through all of them. So for those who are buddies, buddies will have dinner with our honored guests and should arrive about 4:45 p.m. You may have heard by now that you are a buddy, or you may not have, but we will be in touch. I just kind of want to preface all of this to maybe help with some questions that you have. With some information, we probably will have about 250 volunteers, and Morgan and I are in the process of really figuring out where everybody goes. And honestly, shout out to Morgan Becker, who's just been doing a great job with all of that detail. But in the midst of figuring out our volunteers, we are definitely accommodating our guests and working with our leaders to make sure that we have an awesome party going on for them. So we'll be actually providing not only a beautiful prom night experience for our honored guests, but there will be meals for volunteers, and then there, which is probably 250 people right there, and also for our parent party, which again is about 150 people. So all that's kind of going on at one time. So just we appreciate your grace and your patience as we continue to finalize those finer details. Uh, Alrighty, so and then all other volunteers arrive between 3 and 5 p.m., depending on your role that you signed up for. We will be in touch with the exact time that you need to arrive. Um, you may have already been notified if you're a buddy. I just had talked about that a minute ago. So you would arrive by 4:45, as our honor guests are going to begin to arrive at 5:15. Buddies will eat dinner with the honor guests after 6 p.m. So you might want to just bring a little light snack with you if you feel that you need to. All other volunteers will be provided a light meal of some type, sandwiches or pizza, chips, and a cold beverage. This meal will happen sometime around 3:45 and 4:15. Please arrive at 3:30 and you will have a small meal. And you will be directed by your team leader, and then you will move into the area with all the other volunteers. Other than buddies who will be exiting the room, you will be they'll be exiting the room by 5 p.m. ish. So basically they're the time frames to arrive, and that's really what you need to keep in mind is the time frames to arrive. And again, you will get detailed emails giving you information based on what team you are put on. Setup and breakdown will be getting more information regarding arrival times, and we'll be decorating throughout the week. So you may receive an email to see if you might be free and want to jump in and help with that. Breakdown will have a structured plan. So if you can stay to help, be sure to talk with your team leader about how you can help. So we will be setting up Wednesday and Thursday evenings. We have the entire sanctuary to set up. We have our parent area and we have our volunteer area. So if you get an email from myself or Morgan or a text message and you can pop in, we would love that. And for those of you who have been with us in previous years, when we do breakdown, breakdown happens pretty quick, pretty quick. Sometimes though, well, actually every year, we do have a lot of items that kind of get put in areas that maybe they shouldn't go. And that makes it a little difficult when we try to plan again for the following year. So we'll just have a bit more of a plan this year. So be ready with that information. Um, when you arrive, you're going to go directly to the registration tables in the last building on grounds, and that's called our elementary building. You will see a map in a few minutes, and also we'll be giving you that map on the night of the event as well. We'll confirm that what your volunteer role is, and you'll meet up with your team leader. And this is where you will have your light meal for all the roles that are not buddies. If we do not have you on our list, you will not be entered into the event. If you have not filled out all of the appropriate paperwork, we can't let you in either, or fulfilled your background check, that we can't either. So just so you know, it's just such a high security event. I know you all understand why. But Morgan is so on it, and I know she's emailing you and being in touch with all of you. Um, so also your team leader will give you your specific instructions for the evening. You may receive emails with instructions as well, depending on your role. Volunteer parking will be in the front of the property, by the street and along the driveway where the trees are. You'll see that in the map as well. It's in the grassy area, and we will have traffic control folks out there to let you know that. So as I said, there'll be somebody out there to direct you. And then volunteer attire is black for every role, with the exception of security. Security will have on a bright red shirts. If you are coming upon a difficult situation, and you need a security person, look for the person with the red shirt, and they'll be there to assist you. And we probably will have a lot of undercover as well, but we just wanted to let you know who you can go to, that you can see visibly. With regard to being a buddy, women can certainly wear some fancy jewelry, and men, feel free to wear a nice silver tie if you'd like to. This is the map, and you'll see where most things are in terms of the global picture. We'll have a map with some more detailed items as well. But if you look to the left of the screen, that's where you're going to park. And if you look to the grassy area where you might see a big white van, you will be parking in that area as well. It actually says student building. And also, as you see, you'll be walking down to the very last building, which will be on the right on the screen, and that is the elementary building. And the prom will actually be going on in the main sanctuary room. And then the student party, or the caregiver party, is going on in that student building. So you see the flow of traffic. The green arrows are the parents, and the red arrows are our honored guests. So again, access to the event is very limited. This event is limited to registered guests and volunteers only. If a parent has to enter the event for one of their children, they will be escorted by a security guard. All volunteers will be background checked and credentialed. They will also be wearing lanyards. They must be wearing their assigned lanyard at all times. The police will be monitoring at all times. And if people are found without lanyards, they will be detained until their identity can be verified. Departure expectations. Please do not leave until you have been dismissed by your team leader, and we'll have more details on all of that. Also, we do have some parents who are escorting their honored guest that they care for, and even with that, we've asked those parents to do background checks as well, because they're going to be with other people with special needs. So if you ever hear a question about that, that's why we do that. There is an emergency and exit plan, and it'll be through the side doors of the buildings. You'll go to the exit closest to you and meet up in the student building where the caregiver party is, and you will stay with your honored guests at all times. And, we do ask that before you arrive that you pray for this special night. The Tim Tebow Foundation has asked that we pray every day, 10 days, well, every day, I say, but you're going to be receiving some prayers 10 days out. So look in your emails for those. They'll be coming from Marilyn, who is a wonderful member of our team. I just love these pictures. So volunteer teams and roles, and again, we really appreciate your patience with going through all of this. We feel that our teams need to know each other and they need to know what each other are doing. So we're just going to kind of go through that real quick. So here's some things that are going to be happening on the night of Night to Shine. We will have fun activities, and if you're assigned to any of these areas, you will be given specific assignments and instructions. All the fun activities that I mentioned before, we may have between 2 to 4 hosts for each of those areas. We do have bathroom attendants, and honestly, it's the last thing people sign up for. So, if you want to reach out to myself or Morgan, by the way, Morgan's email is morgan@freshstart.church. And you feel that you could help in that area, we would love for people to let us know. We're only going to do hour-long shifts because we really want everybody to be able to enjoy the prom. But if you can do that, we certainly would appreciate that. We need some for the men's room and some for the ladies' room. And I'll get into what those responsibilities are as I talk about volunteer responsibilities. Of course, we have a buddy team. We have a check-in team for volunteers and honor guests, and they'll be our checkout team as well. Coat check and goodie bag, dance floor teams, floaters. I do want to give you the heads up on floaters. Those people will be people specifically trained to perhaps check in with myself or Morgan or another leader, but we also I feel like I want to speak in this area that we're going to have some backup buddies. We are trying to over prepare for that. There's so many colds and flus going around right now. So we ask you to again just be patient and gracious. If for some reason you end up without a specific honored guest to be with, we are going to include you in the prom by being a part of dancing and having fun, but we just might not be able to have everyone because, as I said, we just want to have a bunch of backups because there's been some cancellations here and there. As we get closer, that's been our experience in previous years. So food service and table runner team, there'll be the guest party registration as well, and the guest party team, the corsage team, and the hair and makeup and shoe shine team, the red carpet and paparazzi, parking lot, respite for the parent party again, our sensory room, and our setup and our tear down. And I'll talk just in some detail about all of these teams. So in terms of the activities, the fun activity teams, again, they're just going to be around. They're going to create a fun atmosphere. A lot of times we'll use our younger volunteers to be a part of that, 16 and up. And the bathroom attendant, I did let you know that we need them. And basically, you are just there to offer assistance with them maybe getting out of their chair or just pointing them to a stall. That bathroom person does not go in and do any hygiene. They're not even allowed in the stall. So if an honored guest comes in and they do need assistance, the buddy has the parent's contact number and they're right next door. We will have security escort them over to assist with that type of thing. So you're basically just going to be a host for an hour and just make sure that everything is nice and safe in there. And then the buddy team, and you will accompany and assist your assigned guests throughout the evening, providing companionship and any assistance they may need during the event. You'll sit with their guests during dinner and engage with them in conversation. All buddies are 18 and older. You'll be given information regarding their diet, allergies, and other sensitivities. The back of their lanyard will have valuable information regarding these items. At no point ever will you leave the buddy, as they will be by your side all night long until they are reunited with their caregiver. At the end, you will give the caregiver some highlights of the evening. We also ask that when you meet the caregiver, that you ask if they may want you to take photos that you can share with them later. We've actually had volunteers stay very much in touch with the caregivers and the honor guests that they have been with, and some just beautiful connections have happened. So feel that you can pursue that if you would like. Just be talking to the caregiver. Buddy check-in team, we are going to greet our buddies, give them their name, honor guest check-in team, and give them their tags and their lanyards, and direct them to their team leaders, meaning buddy check-in. I'll stick with buddy check-in, and and ensuring that their assigned honor guests has the best prom experience. So you will be checking in, and as I said, you'll be getting more information about your honor guests at that time. And we do have a coat check-in team, and a goodie bag team. And you're going to greet guests, you're going to take their coats, you're going to label them and hang them. And as guests leave, you'll assist parents to retrieve the coats and give out goodie bags as well. Coats will be taken in the elementary building and given to our honor guests when they exit the main sanctuary. So all coats will be moved over to the main sanctuary lobby. I'll give you a little brief right here regarding how people are leaving. We've completely changed up how we're doing the exit strategy. We've really had to learn a lot because we really are helping and managing 3 different parties and 3 different groups of people. So what's going to happen this year is our honor guests are actually going to be dismissed from the main sanctuary area alphabetically. So we'll be able to get the parents from the parent party and our honor guests and just do small crowds at our small group of people at one time. And they'll actually be leaving from the main lobby of the main sanctuary area. So that should be super smooth, and we're not anticipating any problems. Also, we are doing a staggered arrival time, and we have quite a complex system prepared for that. So no one can really get in prior to their arrival time in terms of honor guests and caregivers. So we are, yeah, it's going to be, it's a pretty serious system. So just we want to let you guys know all of that. And then the floater team, as I said, they'll constantly float around the main event space, kitchen, restrooms, and outdoors to assist anywhere an extra hand is needed. You may have a radio to be able to communicate with other floaters, and if you have not been given a specific assignment, then check in with me every 30 minutes or so to see if anything has come up that needs attention. You can bring your cell phone, as you may be called in the event that something comes up during the event that you can help with. And that was super helpful last year. I had a few people that had my number and I had theirs, and I would text if a situation came up, and they were right there to help. So if that's you, let us know. And then the food service team, as you know, Chef Angela, shout out to Chef Angela, really the entire team as well for Fresh Start, Night to Shine team. You guys are amazing. Chef Angela has been our chef every year. And she's handling, all the management of the food. So you will be working under her leadership and her team's leadership to serve food to guests in the main event space and respite room, and for the parents and caretakers. You also will be involved with the volunteer food handling as well. You'll be knowledgeable about the items and assist guests to find what they would like, especially if they have diet restrictions or allergies. And you'll be refilling warmers and drinks and snacks. And we are quite mindful of the gluten-free and the special dietary needs of our honor guests. So, and as a volunteer, there will be some options if you have a specific consideration. You probably would want to let Morgan or I know, and we'll let Chef Angela know if we have some specific info ahead of time. If you're a buddy and you need to eat something differently, and then the table runner team, you'll assist a few tables at a time with things like replenishing water, and sure, goodie bags are given out. You probably will be a little part of that. However, we are going to give them at the end. And then you'll be clearing some dirty dishes and all of that. The guest registration team warmly greets our guests, signs them in, gives them their name tag, their lanyard, and answers any questions they may have. And again, with that team, you will get more specific details. However, there will be a special code that people will receive in order to get in at the right time. Corsage and registration, you're going to assure assistance with these items as well as register that the items have been taken. What we're going to do with the corsages with that is actually our buddies are going to pin the corsages on. And buddies, what that would mean is that at that time before the parent leaves, the parent could take some photos of you with the honored guest or with them, however you want to do it. But that's how we're going to do it. In previous years, we've had people pick those up at a table on their way out. But in the interest of time, we're going to do it this way to get everybody into the prom quicker. The hair and makeup team, they're going to arrive at the designated time and assist with the setup team in the salon area. They're going to welcome each guest to the salon station for hair and makeup or to a seat for a shoe shine. They're going to chat with them while you pamper them and make them feel special. So for that, they're not getting full makeup. They're not getting full hair. They're just going to they're going to get zhuzhed up a little. It's my favorite word, zhuzh. And so maybe they'll get their hair teased, a little spray, maybe a little powder on their face, maybe just one little fingernail done. We don't have a big team for that yet. So if that's something, if you're not assigned to a buddy and that's something you think you might want to do, you do not need to be a professional stylist or anything like that. You just want to know how to pamper the girls. That's all. And no more than 2 minutes per person, really, and then send them on their way because there's so many activities to do. And the shoe shine area, same thing. We could use a few people for that as well. The paparazzi team, they're going to take photographs and treat our honor guests like celebrities and VIPs. And this is going to involve standing on the red carpet, the walkway, and maybe perhaps in the walkway tent and blowing bubbles. Our guests may make their way into the main lobby of the prom venue through that tunnel as well. But the paparazzi, if you are paparazzi, if you want to bring a camera that has some flash on it, that's fine. If you just want to wear silly hats, for paparazzi, we want you to zhuzh it up a little bit because you're going to be the ones really clapping people on. So for some of the paparazzi team, a lot of times that's our younger students, and nobody under the age of 14 can be there. So that's someplace where we definitely can put the 14-year-olds, and the more the merrier. If you know of groups that might want to just come out for an hour, we would love that. A cheerleading team or just some kids that need to get an hour volunteer in that would be excited to cheer them on along the red carpet. We would love that. Some people in those roles, we do have a group of young men who will be helping with our table service. But for the first portion, they're going to be out on the paparazzi. So some people can have two roles if they're a little older. They can be paparazzi first, and then poof, they could pop out and go ahead and do some other activity host things, or serve a particular role. The parent party team, just come ready to have some fun with the parents and caregivers. Jean and Barb Snyder are leading that team this year, and they will be in touch with more details. You will do things like man the dessert table, clean up spaces, assist with gift giving, and generally just keep the excitement going. And, we would love it if you would even pray with some of our folks. That has happened in previous years. Some of our families love and need prayer. And our parking team, you're going to maintain that the parking pattern and you're going to direct traffic for easy vehicle entry and exit, and you're going to maintain an open fire and emergency lane. And we'll be in touch with you guys as that gets a little closer. We'll have a map of the flow and all of that. And again, like the red carpet, you will assist and announce guests as they make their way down the red carpet. You'll manage flow and traffic and cheer them on to make them feel super welcome. Everybody's name will be mentioned. Everybody's going to hear their name on the red carpet. And also, again, in the interest of time, we are not going to do individualized prom pictures. As I said, there will be an opportunity in the beginning with the buddy putting the corsage on. And then we do have a volunteer who is going to take prom pictures as they enter on the red carpet. And that will save some time as well. The goal is really just to get them in there dancing and ready to have a great time. And then our respite room team, that really is all about, it's the parent party again, just kind of double backing on that. You're going to love on the parents and the caretakers by serving food, spending time with them, getting to know them, and being available to pray for them, as I said earlier. Now, the sensory team. I'm always excited. The Stockton master students always jump in and manage that. What they do is they come over to our Champions Club and they grab some equipment and they take it over to our little nursery area, which is right off the main sanctuary space where the prom is happening. So they are so well in tune to be carousing the entire prom. They're looking for people who are overstimulated, who are maybe having difficulty communicating, who could be frustrated, all of those things, who might need to leave for a little while. So they create this beautiful space where folks can come in, they can decompress for a little bit. They are master's level occupational therapy students. How blessed are we, right? And then they always manage to get them to get back into that prom. So I'm so thankful for them. And then the setup team, again, you will arrive at your designated time and execute event setup. And this could be indoor and outdoor setup. Dave House and his grandson are so great about that for those that don't know him. And he'll be directing a lot of the traffic for that. And that is even getting the red carpet out. It's some lighting stuff. It's all that setup stuff. So we'll be in touch. And then the tear down team again, if you have signed up specifically for just tear down, which is great because that means you're going to have a lot of energy when you arrive. You will arrive at a specific time and you'll execute the breakdown. And this can involve indoor and outdoor breakdown. And there will be a structured plan for sure. And then the volunteer check-in team, you will greet the volunteers, you'll sign them in, you'll give them their name tags or lanyards, and you'll direct them to the coat check and their team leaders. You'll contact Morgan or myself in the event that someone is not listed on the registration. So whoever's at those tables, and actually you will contact Morgan. And then no one will be allowed to enter the event or participate in if the appropriate paperwork and background checks have not been completed. Again, I love these pictures. And then more specified buddy information. And so much of this does apply to all of us. As we continue to talk about it, you'll see why. So specific for buddies, never leave your honor guests during the evening. And that is for all of us to be aware, because if you happen to see an honored guest without somebody attached to them, then you need to get somebody in one of those red shirts, okay? And be sure to familiarize yourself with any special considerations or allergies that our honored guests may have. Information will be on their lanyard, along with all the emergency contact information. And then if you have any medical concerns, no matter how minor, please notify a team leader or security volunteer, and they will seek a medical team member for you. Security, as I said, will have the red collared shirts on with the black ties. And we did have a situation last year and everybody jumped right to it. It was beautiful to see. And our honor guest was fine. Um, as the event begins to wrap up, your honored guests will be announced and you'll be advised on when to leave the main sanctuary so our guests can reconnect with their parent caregiver in the designated pickup area and help them retrieve their prom favors, their coats, and any other belongings. Take the time to update their designated pick, sorry, um, that meant to say, take the time to update their caregiver about anything special that happened. They're of course going to want to know it, and you could get permission to get their phone number and be texting photos throughout the night. We have had that happen in the past if you want to do that. Um, and then, and as I spoke about before, where the pickup area was going to be. Um, Okay, and for guests with more acute needs who may need specialized assistance, their parent slash caregiver may stay with you to assist. Yeah, or some parents or caregivers of some folks who have more serious issues are simply going to be the buddy. And then you'll be notified that evening if there's anything that needs to change. There will not be assigned seating. We've tried it, doesn't work. Everybody sits wherever they want to sit with their friends, and that's great. So it works out terrific. Um, okay, and then what you're going to want to do too is several times throughout the evening, ask if they want to use the restroom, because they really are going to not want to leave that room, or the activities. So, for restaurant breaks, know that it is not your responsibility to assist the guest in the bathroom. Volunteers have been specifically assigned as restroom attendants. Contact the parent, or will be, and then contact the parent caregiver if additional assistance is needed. At no time should anyone be alone in a stall or bathroom with an honored guest. And then if you'd like to stay in touch with your guest after the event, please be sure to ask permission of the guest and or the parent caretaker before reaching out to them. And then be very aware of the special diets and food restrictions. This information will be on their lanyard, and many guests may need gluten-free, dairy-free, low sugar, or have food allergies. Others may need food cut up for them into small pieces or pureed. So the meal will be served family style. And because of the lanyard, what you'll need to do is make sure you let because of the lanyard and special restrictions, let the table host know, hey, I have somebody gluten-free, I have somebody with diabetes, all of that. And all those food accommodations can be made. And then make sure to contact the parent caregiver and or reference guest lanyards to make sure that the dietary needs are taken care of, like I just said. And do not administer any medications. Any medications must be administered by your guest parent or caregiver. I don't think anybody would, but you never know, and it's in the manual, and we definitely wanted to share that. And then we want to bless these remarkable people, the caregivers, with the opportunity to rest and enjoy a night off, knowing their loved ones are having an amazing time in a safe environment with their buddy. They're currently, with our spacing and with the ability to stay safe and the amount of space that we have, we are allowing one caregiver into the party. So that's the route we had to go this year. And so if there's questions about that, you can definitely message me about that. And please warmly welcome everyone and help them to feel loved, valued, and relaxed. And we will be providing food and entertainment to our families. There's communications being created now to let them know all of that. Five Guys has generously donated some burgers, and I can't wait for that. But there'll be salads as well. There will be a coffee bar again, and fun, fancy coffees will be made, or people can just go up to a little urn and get what they want. So it should prove to be very, very nice, with options again for gluten-free and people who don't eat meat. Okay, for those independent in using their chairs, their wheelchairs, always ask if they want help. Do not just start pushing their chair without permission. These are some things just to keep in mind when you are caring for people with special needs. Some of you come in and have absolutely no experience, but you have the heart, and which is wonderful. So that's why we kind of go through these things. I know some of you have a whole lot of experience. So we'll just go through these real quickly. Be careful in crowded hallways, allow extra time to transition. Gently take hold of an arm during a transition. It's best if they need the help, it's best to just guide at the elbow. So you just touch somebody on the elbow if they seem like they need assistance, and just guide them very gently to wherever it is they need to go. Um, and then if a conversation lasts for more than a few minutes and it's possible to do so with somebody who is in a wheelchair, just sit down in order to share eye to eye level. And it's uncomfortable for a seated person to, they have to look up all the time. So, yeah, just keep that in mind. And then right now, this is our event schedule. If anything changes, we'll let you know. But here we go. Um, so this is just kind of a sample, and the volunteer will arrive and they'll check in. After that, the guests will arrive and check in and meet their buddy and receive corsages and boutonnieres. Parents will go to their parent caregiver party. Professional photography and prom pictures will happen on the red carpet. From the red carpet, everybody will go into the sanctuary. We're going to do a video and a crowning and dinner. We have asked Jalen Hudgens, who usually does a gospel message, to actually do a song this year. I'm waiting to hear back from him. So he may just do a live song because he's actually, for those that don't know, Jalen was diagnosed with autism when he was very young, and the doctors really didn't give a lot of hope to his mom. And that's where God intervened. And Jalen he's a top basketball player somewhere. He's had his own radio station. He makes his own music, and he's actually a youth pastor at a church in Woodbine. So we love for him to come and pour into our honored guests. So, but rather than that being a very long message, we have asked Jalen to do a song and offer people to talk about God. So we'll let you know if that's going to happen. So that's tentative. And then guests enjoyed getting their hair, makeup, no tattoos though. We don't have them right now. They may come in, but we're not sure. And then dancing, limo, carriage rides, karaoke, candy station. You're just going to see so much, and you're going to know that night exactly what those things are and where you can find them. We will have therapy dogs as well, 2 sets of them. We'll have Star Wars characters. I don't even know. Oh, and a stilt walker. Get ready. We're going to have a stilt walker. That's pretty exciting. And then buddies will assist guests in picking up their snack bags, and buddies will also assist guests in collecting their coats and belongings and finding their parents or caretakers. And all that will be quite ordered, and we will make sure that small groups come out at one time and we're able to reunite caregivers and their loved ones. Okay, guest interaction and communication. Again, just some things to keep in mind. People first language. We want our guests to know that they are the most valuable and important people in the room, in the place. The entire experience is all about them, and we just want them to feel and know that. People first language aims to avoid perceived and subconscious dehumanization when discussing people with disabilities. To prevent unintentionally offending someone, we have provided a list of terms to avoid. And actually, I'm not going to read them. So I'm just going to leave these up for you guys just for a minute. You can take a look at some of the things that are just not okay to say. So, all right. Okay, so here we go. And then here's a way that we can respectfully reword some phrases that some people just don't know what the language is, and sometimes the language does change. So here's some things. Instead of a disabled person, you could say a person with disabilities. Instead of a special needs person, you could say a person with special needs. Instead of a wheelchair bound person, you could say a person in a wheelchair or with a wheelchair. Instead of an autistic person, you could say a person with autism. So the key thing to remember is to put the person first. They are not their disability. They are first and foremost a child of God and a person with feelings and emotions just like you. And God has a beautiful purpose and plan for their lives. And we are here to absolutely celebrate that. And then, some tips. When offering assistance to a person with a disability, wait until you're you can't see that word, is accepted, and then ask how you can best assist them. Okay. And then address them just as you would any other person. It's acceptable to offer a handshake during introductions, even if the other person has limited mobility in their hand or an artificial limb. Be sure to shake their hand when you first meet them. Do not alter your voice or speak in a simplified, childish manner. If an interpreter is present, speak directly to the person and not their interpreter. I don't think we have any person that's deaf. I don't think we do. But if we did, then that's what you would do. Don't lean on anybody's wheelchair. Um, do not interact with service animals without asking first, meaning if an honored guest brought a service animal, you need to ask first. I don't think we have anyone that's bringing their own service animal. But if a person with whom you are speaking has a visual disability, make sure you identify yourself and any people who may be accompanying you. I know that sounds like common sense, but sometimes in the moment, yeah, you don't always remember that. And be patient if the person with whom you're asking has trouble understanding you. Do not get frustrated or raise your voice in an unpleasant way. If you need assistance, see the team leader. Of course, we don't expect any of that to happen, but if you don't have experience with people that have special needs, you may need some help, and there's nothing wrong with that. If you can't find a security officer or a Stockton student doesn't notice right away, and we do have a lot of them coming, so they're going to be all over the place. You just ask anybody, and they'll go get you the assistance that you need. And then if you find yourself in an uncomfortable situation, that's what I was getting at. Don't be afraid to ask. Some signs of overstimulation, and you may see this because it is a big event with a lot of excitement, visual stimuli, social stimuli, auditory stimuli. So you really might experience this. So start looking for anyone that might be yelling, screaming, crying, extreme fidgeting, fearful looks, or even aggressive behavior. It can happen. If this happens, redirect them to a quieter location, and if needed, find your guest's parent, caretaker, or guardian. What you'll do is you'll call the number is what you'll do on the back of the lanyard. So please bring your phones. You will all know where the sensory room is. For those who have been with us before, it is in the same location, which is right off the side of the main sanctuary in our little nursery area. But we will show you that specifically. And that's a great place to whisk people into, come here, have something, and poof, right in you are. We will have, as I said all that. Okay. Yes. Okay. Maintain your composure and speak kindly at all times. We don't anticipate any problem with that. Never go alone with one of the guests anywhere. Make sure you maintain physical boundaries and don't in any way encourage a guest to view you as a boyfriend or a girlfriend. For pretty much all of our female guests, with the exception of a special request from a parent, all of our female guests will have female buddies. So and then if for some reason we have to use a female guest with a male, be very mindful of that, because sometimes our guys fall in love in 5 minutes. So if that's you and you have one of our guys, although we're trying really not to do that, we're really trying to match them up, male, female. Okay. Oh, don't you love that picture? I love it. Just a few reminders. All volunteers should be aware of event space and familiarize themselves as to where the restrooms, food, sensory room, a medical team, and other important teams will be located. You are going to get more detailed information on the actual night of the prom, on where everything is. We encourage you to wear comfortable shoes, and you will be dancing. You will. Be aware that our guests may see you as their boyfriend, girlfriend. Please dress modestly and give very clear cues that you are just friends. And then please stay in designated areas. Please do not roam or go off alone with any of the honored guests. And our security would be right on that. And I think sometimes it just happens by accident, but we do have people around keeping an eye on that. Do not be afraid to ask for help if you're in an uncomfortable situation, regardless of your volunteer position. Please feel free to step in if a situation arises. We are all on the same team. We're all here to help. I want everybody to just be cognizant. You can get a security officer or a Stockton student to help a person if you see anything. We've never had anything really crazy happen. And I think that's because we talk about this ahead of time and everybody helps each other out. And please come dressed according to your role. So check with your team leader to make sure you come dressed appropriately. As I said, all volunteers are wearing black, but you want to be nice and warm for the parking lot, all of that. And then and if you're set up and breakdown, again, comfort is key. Honor guests will be escorted out of the main building individually back to the original building that you arrived in. Each honor guest will be checked out. Sorry. Okay, well, I'm sorry ignore that one. Okay, I just went over exactly for what that says right there. I just went over exactly how we're going to do dismissal. So we'll just skip that one and fix that. And don't forget to wear your smile, everybody. Like our honor guests, they just feel so comfortable with a big giant smile and letting them know how beautiful or how handsome they look. I'll tell you, make their night if you can just do that all night long. And then all volunteers should be familiar with the emergency exits and emergency evacuation plan. As I said, you're leaving through the closest door. And then if it's the main sanctuary that evacuates, you're going to go over to our student building and connect them with their parent, and you're going to stay with them the whole time. And we will handle it, all of that. And then there's going to be uniformed EMTs and emergency medical techs, law enforcement. As I said, we have all of these teams that are going to be with us, and they know exactly what they're doing. And then medical personnel and volunteers are not responsible for administering medications. All medications must be administered by the guest or parent caretaker. We went over that a little bit earlier. And then if somebody does need emergency medical technician, we do have all the guardian's information and all that, so that the EMTs can act accordingly. And then, just a reminder that you're a huge part of this event, and that we're there to honor our kings and queens, and you're all going to do great. There's this beautiful scripture. So if there is any encouragement in Christ, any comfort from love, any participation in the Spirit, any affection and sympathy, complete my joy by being of the same mind, having the same love, and being in full accordance and of one mind. Philippians 2, 1 through 2. And that's what it's all about, is showing the love of Jesus. And we're super excited that we all get to do that together. So I just thank you all for that. So this is our training, and I hope that this was helpful to you. For those that were not able to be with us today, we are definitely going to be sending this training out and making sure that they have experienced it as well. So we thank you, and we are actually, I don't know, I'll jump on chat. I would venture to guess, Morgan, that you have probably answered so many of these. So now I can see the Q&A. So, all right. Let me see. Yes. Why don't we see if there's a few questions right now that I can answer? For those that don't have any questions, feel free to go. I can see the Q&A. So let me, you know what? Let me go up from the top and see if I can answer them. For those that had questions, can you hang on? Okay. I'm just going through. There's, I think, 80 entries here. Okay. Let's see, I see a lot of hello, everyone. That's so great. Okay. Hold on. Thank you for your patience. We sure appreciate it. Let's see. Okay. So far, no questions. I know I'm going to get to them. Here we go. Lots of encouraging words I see. Um, Everybody checked in, said they're here, they're here. Are we checking attendance through the chat? Morgan, I know Morgan is. So somehow Morgan is checking attendance. I'm not sure how, but she is. And so we'll know who has gone through the training and who has not. And she's taking a look at this. So okay. Yes, she is taking attendance through the chat. So she sent a message to everyone. Yes, please put your name in here if you have not already. Okay, let's see. Okay. Jaden, yes, you do need to fill out a background check now that you're 18, and your registration should have asked you to do that. Morgan will be in touch with you if it's not done. Marcia, yes, we do have the Tim Tebow video that we can also share more if we would like to. Yes, Morgan is a rock star. Yeah, somebody said that. Will you send all direction forms to our emails? I'm at work and I can't really watch the whole thing as you've been explaining things. Sharon, if you're still here, if you could email me exactly what you want at lisa@freshstart.church, that would be great. Okay. Yes. So this says many guests may come early, and if the weather is bad, will they need to be directed back to stay in their vehicles since they will not be able to enter the building until their allotted time? Let me see. Carl and Jeanette, they're going to stay in their car until they get a message from us to come in. So they're not to even leave their vehicle. And we're going to be getting more out on what that looks like, and they all know to expect that. Oh, I see, Morgan, you said that. So Carl and Jeanette, about the Stockton students wearing different color attire. I thank you for that. I normally they just scope the area and they'll see when something's going on. There's so many of them, but I'll visit that about them wearing a different color. And if we go in that direction, I will definitely let everybody know. Thank you. Great suggestion. Anyone on here who needs this video afterward, you can email myself or Morgan, lisa@freshstart.church, Morgan@freshstart.church. Did we cover the Kinging of the Kings and the Queens for buddies? We did. We said that it's going to be in the dining room, and right around dinner time. So everyone will get all the information they need, and they will also be taking cues from the stage, so that they'll know exactly what to do when. Almost through all these questions, everybody. Rachel Diacello, I'm sure Morgan will be in touch if it did not go through. And she will get that. Oh, there she is. Okay, she already got back to you. Okay. And whoever does not have a background check done, somebody said, how do I get a background check done? It would have asked you to have completed it. If you have not, if you signed up as a volunteer and you have not done that, Morgan will be in touch with you and she'll send you the link to do that. So you'll do that right through our system, and for every volunteer, it costs $14. So she will get that over to you soon. I see somebody put their information for a background check. I'm not sure what that is, but is that Rachel? I'm not sure if Morgan needs it in here, or perhaps you could email her any information, morgan@freshstart.church. If you're in our system, we have all your information. Okay. Isaac, you disconnected. You can email myself or Morgan and we will make sure that you get this link, okay? Few more questions? Can buddies have a small purse with them to hold their phones? Yes. All right. Well, I think you guys have done everything. Thank you for all your kind words in this chat. We sure do appreciate it. So we thank you all. And if there's no other questions, I don't see any other questions. Let me go into this. Okay. I think we're good, everybody. Okay. So thank you so much. And we'll see you at Night to Shine. Yay. Take care, everyone. Have a beautiful day. See you later.